Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Live Penguin TV. My name is Sky. I'm going to be your host for tonight, and with me, I've got the lovely Ranger T. Jump on in, T.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Penguin Live TV. I'll be monitoring all your questions on YouTube and trying to answer some on screen as well. And don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook, we've got some excellent, very knowledgeable rangers monitoring those questions, and they'll be answering those within the next 24 hours if you don't get a response during the live stream. Have a fabulous night. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful. And last night we did have 1,670 penguins across the beach. So still really big numbers here in breeding season. And I think I've just spotted some penguins just in front of us here. Oh, we don't often get to see them right here. So just in the middle of the screen, down towards the grass, we can see some penguins thinking about making their way across the beach. I'm guessing our penguin spotter or counter tonight, Ebony, has got them in her eyes and she's waiting to see if they cross the beach. We've also got Rachel, who you would know from these live streams. She is the helper, the counting helper on East tonight. So that's the team that you've got tonight. And tonight here at the Penguin Parade, we have got guests because it is a weekend. We are open to regional Victorians on the weekend. And they are eagerly sitting on the stands looking out and waiting for more of these penguins to arrive and cross the beach back to their burrows. That's why we're all here. This is the Penguin Parade. And the Penguin Parade is on Boonwurrung country. So the traditional custodians of this land, Malau, are the Boonwurrung of the Kulin Nation, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Now let us know in the comments where you are watching from and the traditional custodians of the land on which you are watching from if you know. And if you're not sure, then now is a great time to find out. So these little penguins aren't too sure about crossing the beach. We see it time and time again here on Live Penguin TV that the penguins, when they arrive, they don't necessarily cross the beach straight away. And that is because it is still pretty light and it is a dangerous time of the day for penguins because at this time of day, there are still predatory birds and birds of prey that might like to eat our little penguins. And when they run across this golden sand, they're very open to predation. They're very easily spotted and easily taken by something that might still be awake. So often if they've arrived just a little bit early, we see them like this, sort of standing on the water's edge, walking a little bit, walking back a little bit, swimming a little bit, coming back up again, walking a little bit, running back a little bit, not making up their minds, not doing anything definitive until they finally get up the courage, they get the guts to make the cross across the beach. But right now, no, they don't have the courage just yet, and that is probably good because it's a dangerous business and you don't want to be too foolhardy as a little penguin because they are the littlest penguins in the world, 33 centimetres tall and 1 kilo in weight, so they are very vulnerable. And I have a penguin friend with me tonight. And you might notice that it's wearing a pretty nifty beanie and a pretty nifty scarf. This is a very happy penguin who is celebrating the Tigers' win last night. So not bad looking, is it? So it seems that this penguin at least does support the Tigers. And these are little penguins that you can buy from our shop. They are online on our website. If you go to our website, you can buy penguin pals. They are also, we've got them in all sorts of different teams as well. So you don't just only have to go for the reigning premiers, the Tigers. You can go for, you can get a Geelong one, you can get a Hawks one, you can get a Roos one, whatever you like, we've got them. So if you are celebrating today the grand final from yesterday, well, we've got you covered. We've got your football penguins for you when you're ready. But this is what a little penguin would look like. It's got white feathers on the belly. It's got blue feathers on the back. And this is about life size, actually. It's about right, about 33 centimetres tall. And their name is the little penguins. I'm not just saying, oh, it's a little penguin. No, they are called the little penguin because their scientific name is Eudiptera minor. That means good little diver. So That's why I'm saying little penguin. I'm not just being casual about it. That's literally their name. That is the type of penguin. It's the smallest penguin of all 18 species in the world. All right, let's get a little bit closer to home and see if we've got any penguins on our doorstep here on Penguins Plus. Casting our eyes out into the ocean. Now, it's not going to be easy for us to spot rafts tonight. It's looking a little bit white cappy. Oh, and the camera's a little bit foggy. We did just get it cleaned only 10 minutes ago. T's laughing because we've had it cleaned twice before the count tonight, but I guess there's a sea mist out there that's just not going to give us a break tonight. So we'll see what we can do with what we've got. No, I'm not seeing any penguins at the moment, but this camera's not working with us today. I'm going to have to see what we can do. Yep, okay, it's clicking in a bit better now. This is good. All right, so no, not seeing any penguins just yet. We thought they were going to come in super early tonight. We heard a call that there were penguins at the water's edge at 7:30, and we almost had to come to you extremely, extremely early, but they held off, and now we've just got to wait for them to make this dangerous dash. And so that we can see these penguins on parade. No, nothing going on here, so let's go back to our little raft of penguins further east. So we're at the Penguin Parade here. We are Phillip Island Nature Parks. We are a not-for-profit conservation organisation. We look after the Penguin Parade. We look after the bushfire koalas and bushfire koalas that got caught up in the fires that are being released in November. We look after most of the Southside beaches. We look after a whole lot of natural areas here on the island. We look after the Nobbies and Antarctic Journey, Churchill Island Heritage Farm. Put these all on your itinerary for when it's time to come here on holidays and when it's safe to do so, because we've got plenty of things to keep you busy. And we do generally fund the work that we do by people coming and visiting our sites. As I said, we're not for profit. So the money that you put in goes into our conservation, goes into our research, goes into our education and things like this live stream. And since we can't really welcome too many visitors at the moment, we have got the Penguin Foundation, and you can donate. Oh, yeah, penguins in the middle there. You can donate to the Penguin Foundation. You can adopt a penguin. You can become a penguin pal. And today, T was telling me, is National Grandparents' Day. So if you've got a grandparent that you love and that you know likes penguins, maybe it's a grandparent that you sometimes watch the stream with, why don't you adopt a penguin for them? Why don't you get them to be a penguin pal so that they can get a little penguin toy with it? Have a look at our options of what you can donate and what you can become. It's a great gift for a loved one in your life. Now, we've been talking a bit about the AFL Grand Final recently, Tigers versus Cats, but it's not the only Grand Final that's going on this weekend. We've also got the Nrl Grand Final. Now, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about this code of football, but I guess it's rugby. And, we've got a penguin above. Oh, it just snuck through. What were you doing there, penguin? It's NRL rugby. And we've got a grand final today. Right now it's happening. It is the Melbourne Storm against the Penrith Panthers. And so we thought about who we thought the Penguins would go for in the AFL grand final. I've been thinking about the NRL as well. Well, Penguins are never going to see a Panther. So I don't think they'd really have feelings about Panthers. They get a fair bit of storms, these Penguins, going out to sea every day on the Bass Strait. They would get their fair share of storms. However, storms don't tend to bother them. They are really well adapted to storms and bad weather. So I don't know. I tend to think that our Penguins here in Phillip Island are probably going to go for Melbourne Storm because they're Victorian Penguins. They're going to support their Victorian team. However, some of these little penguins can be found as far north as Manly Beach in Sydney. We do have penguins right up the east coast. Well, not right up the east coast, but a fair way up the east coast. So there are some penguins in Sydney. Was that a penguin? Oh, it is. There are some penguins in Sydney. Oh, is it? Is that rubbish? Oh, I think that's just rubbish on a rock. Oh, dear. Well, there you go. Yep, there are penguins in Sydney, so I reckon those penguins are probably going to be going for the Penrith Panthers. So let us know in the comments who you're going for in the NRL Grand Final today. Ah, yes, Penguins in the back there. As I said, it's very foggy camera. We have wiped it twice. There's a sea mist out there today. There's not much we can do about it, unfortunately, any further. So watch these penguins as they swim around to see if they want to come in soon. Because we'd love to see you back home. Oh, yes, very murky. It reminds me of a horror film with the mist over the camera. I like it. Ooh, having trouble focusing as well. So while we wait for them to arrive, I'm going to answer a question that I saw asked not last night by but Friday night, and it was by one of our regular viewers. If you're in the Facebook, if you watch on Facebook and you keep an eye on the comments in Facebook, you might know him, Chris Eaton, who's probably very happy about the Tigers' win last night based on his profile picture. And he asked a question. He said, does commercial fishing affect the penguins? Oh, they've arrived on the edge of the water here. So hi, Chris. I thought that was a great question, and I've saved it till tonight because I figured you probably wouldn't be watching last night, since it seems you're a Tigers fan. And the answer is yes, commercial fishing does affect these little penguins that we can just see on the screen in front of us in a number of different ways. So number one, of course, penguins love to eat fish. The reason that these penguins go out every day into the water is to eat seafood and fish and all sorts of things like this. So when commercial fishing goes out and takes fish, and at the moment we are overfishing our oceans. We are taking too much fish. It is not sustainable, the amount of fish that we are taking out of the oceans. The fish that we take out is fish that these penguins cannot eat. So as we are depleting fish, we are leaving less and less food for these poor penguins to eat. So that's one way that it affects it. Two, bycatch. That is when fishing boats have sort of big nets and they're targeting one type of fish, but because it's a giant net, not giant. Oh, they're running?
Oh, no, sorry, I was just seeing a score.
Oh, okay, wonderful. T's interested in the football, I think. So there's bycatch as well. And what that means is, yes, there's big nets. They just sort of take anything that's in their path, but they're only targeting maybe one or two types of fish, and that means that a whole lot of animals that don't need to be taken out of the ocean get taken out of the ocean. And yes, sometimes penguins can get caught in that bycatch and get caught when the fisher people are trying to catch other species. Three, there's a lot of rubbish and pollution, unfortunately, that goes along with fishing. There's nets that get stuck out at sea. There's lines that get dropped in the ocean. And we get all sorts of marine debris being found inside our birds' bellies. Things like fishing line, balloons and balloon cords and things like this. So that is yet another way that penguins are affected by our commercial fishing, is that they end up eating a lot of the trash that occurs because of fishing. It's very hard to see these penguins. So yes, commercial fishing is awful for our poor penguins, but there's something you can do. If you like to eat fish, there is something that you can do, and that is to look out for the MSC logo. It is a blue logo. It sort of is a bit of an oval fish-shaped blue logo with a fish in it, and it's got a bit of a tick in it, and it means that is sustainably caught fish. Please don't eat any fish that does not have that logo on it. And if you are buying your fish, oh, is that some fish penguins there? Yes.
We've had an official start at 8:08.
Oh, 8:08. They mustn't have been here. It must have been somewhere else on the beach, I'd say. We're still waiting for these guys to cross, by the looks of it, though I will zoom out in case they've snuck past me in the doom and gloom. No. Okay, so, but talk to your fishmonger. If you don't buy fish that's in a packet, if you're going to a fishmonger or a butcher, talk to the butcher. They will know how it's been caught. If they don't know, it's probably not good. They should know. If they're doing the right thing, they will probably be proud to tell you how it's been caught, generally speaking. So that's how you can help, and thanks for asking such a great question, Chris Eaton. I love to sneak an environmental message into these live Penguin TV episodes. But where are you, penguins? What's going on? It's can barely see. You're making it very difficult for me. I wonder if we cast our eyes just down the beach and try and catch some of the other groups since it's so dark and gloomy over there. There's certainly a Melbourne storm going on here tonight. So I think that bodes well for the Melbourne Storm in the football, the rugby, whatever, tonight. Someone just needs to teach me the rules of rugby, I think. That's my problem. All right,
it's not as exciting as AFL.
Ooh, controversial statement from T there. She likes both, actually. She watches both, so maybe she would know. Oh, I don't want to buy into it. Let us know what do you reckon, AFL or NRL? Oh, am I going to start a fight in the comments? I'm regretting it already, everybody. What am I doing? Let's get a question. Let's pretend this never happened. Let's get a question.
We have had a couple of viewers asking, what team do you go for?
Really? I'm very pleased to tell you that I am a Hawk supporter. It hasn't been a good year for us this year, but look, we'll rise again. Don't you worry. And sorry if that's going to cause some people who previously didn't mind me to have an issue with me now. I'm sorry. I was born that way. I was born a Hawk supporter. Can't change it. It's in my blood. All right, next question, T.
Next question from Ollie. Would we ever interfere with a predator who might attack a penguin?
Would we ever interfere with a predator that might attack a penguin? That does depend, Ollie. Very interesting question. So if that was a natural predator like a Pacific gull, and we saw one on the stream the other night, I'm just going to leave it here so we can see the penguins when they arrive. No, we wouldn't interfere. The thing is that these natural predators, some of them do really rely on the food that they can get. They need to be eating some sort of meat, and if penguin is what they want to eat and they are fast enough and wily enough to catch one, then unfortunately for us who really love penguins, we've kind of just got to let them have it. We've got to let them go for it. They've got to eat too. We can't play favourites with different animals that are naturally meant to be here on Phillip Island. When we would interfere, however, is if we saw a fox or if we saw a cat. These are two types of animals that we should not be seeing here, that are not naturally meant to be here, that we are actively here at Phillip Island Nature Parks trying to get rid of. If we saw a cat in the penguin parade tonight, our rangers would descend en masse to try and catch that cat, to try and get it away from our penguins and to try and completely remove it from the area. So if it's a non-natural predator, yep, we would get in there straight away and we are here at the nature parks actively trying to get rid of these predators. If it's a natural predator, if it's something that naturally eats the penguins and always has and always will, then yeah, unfortunately we just let them do it. We let nature take its course. It's the law of the jungle, the law of the ocean. Penguins, come on. Oh, yep, there they are. Okay, it's time to cross, you little things, because I have a feeling it's mostly just this patch of camera that's quite foggy on either direction, either side. This is obviously the direction of the weather. It's much better, so I want to start watching penguins off the side of the camera. So that means you need to cross. Yep, so you can just see some white bellies in the front there. Really tough to make out tonight. Oh, where are you? There's a few tentative penguins. They look like they are making their way. Oh, yep, off to the side here as well. Horror movie kind of stuff. Penguins descending across the beach. There we go. And keep in mind that if we've got a mist on our camera, then Ebony has got a mist on her windows. And if she opens up the windows, she'll get a mist on her binoculars. So she's going to have a really tough night dealing with the mist as well. If it's hitting us, it's hitting her too. So some have made it across onto the rocks now. We've still got some in the background there. But yeah, I do want them to get just a little bit further to the right of the screen because it gets a little bit misty, a bit less misty as we go, as we sort of watch them. T, let's get another question if there's any.
Well, you have caused a bit of a stir on YouTube and Facebook about AFL and NRL.
Sorry, everyone.
There's been lots of comments. One got thrown in, V8 supercars instead.
V8 supercars instead. Oh, goodness. All right. Ugh.
But one cool question from Mithras. Are hawks a predator of penguins?
Yes, unfortunately they are. Yep. So the penguins would not be cheering on the hawks. I like the hawks, but the penguins absolutely do not. They are a natural predator for sure of our penguins. So the penguins are not siding with me. Oh, let's change cameras. That's looking very cute. Let's have a look at this penguin. Oh, just as I get there, it waddles on. So you haven't got as much of the mist on this camera. So yeah, if you go through a lot of the different types of football teams, I don't reckon the Penguins would like many of them. Honestly, I don't think there'd be many that they would not have a problem with. Maybe the Saints would be all right.
Or the Kangaroos.
Kangaroos, yep. Oh yeah, we do actually have some penguin neighbours here in the colony. So it's not just penguins that live up here on the Summerland Peninsula. Oh, come on, camera. They have got neighbours that live all around them, and one of those neighbours are wallabies. So not kangaroos. We don't have any kangaroos on the island, but we do have lots of wallabies up here. We also have Cape Barren geese. We've got the short-tailed shearwaters that we saw flying in last night. If you tuned in last night, you might have seen me react very enthusiastically to some short-tailed shearwaters. We've also got eastern barred bandicoots. This little guy, little stripy-bottomed marsupial mouse or rabbit kind of thing. Oh, they're going. Here we go. Let's watch them cross. Let me zoom out a little bit. And by donating to the Penguin Foundation, you look after our penguins, but you look after their habitat as well, which means that you're also helping the habitat of the bandicoots, of the geese, of the wallabies, of all the other animals that live around them up here on the peninsula. All right, no, this is much better camera. Look at that. No mist down here on this part of the lens, and I reckon these guys are going to be heading down the highway soon. So let's switch cameras. Here they come. Hi, penguins. Welcome home. Good to see ya. And they're waddling along their highway. Some of the first that we're seeing. Rocking from side to side with their low centre of gravity. We've got a few more rounding the corner. T's giggling away. Whatever you're saying in the comments, she's really enjoying.
One comment, maybe the Penguins would be Essendon supporters as their poo is definitely like Bombers.
Yes, they've got very projectile poo, our little penguins. They do. Their projectile poo is like a bomber. They might be Bomber supporters. You're very right. Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. Yep, their projectile poo's definitely a weapon for sure. Oh, something spooked them. They're running. What was it? What scared you, little ones? So one's just dropped to the floor and is lying down flat. The rest have run on, but that was a very sudden movement that they all made. So something scared them. I'm just not sure what. Not sure what it was. All right, let's hide this. And let's go back to, it's just that mist is making it really difficult. Let's see what else we can see down the beach, because that mist is causing all sorts of issues. And it's just not going to be so bad on this side of the camera. The Melbourne storm's coming in from the sea, so it's not a Melbourne storm at all. We're sending the storm to Melbourne. We got the shearwaters again. Have a look, everybody. So in the sky above us here, I don't know if zooming in will help at all. Oh, it does a little bit. Look at that. You might be able to see some black birds circling in the sky. And these are the short-tailed shearwaters, everybody. So these are birds that have flown all the way from Alaska over the, probably about a month ago now, a few weeks ago. They flew all the way from Alaska back to Phillip Island because they have their nests and burrows here on Phillip Island. It's breeding season for them at the moment. And they go out fishing all day and swarm in at this time of night into their burrows here, and you can see them all across Phillip Island, these short-tailed shearwaters at this time of year. So it's another thing to put on your list when you come to visit us here at Phillip Island. Make sure you spare some time to go see the short-tailed shearwaters. They are incredible flyers. They are terrible at landing. So we have all sorts of problems with shearwaters sort of hitting into you if it needs to stop somehow. Sometimes it'll use you as a stopping as a way to stop. But that's fantastic. Look at those short-tailed shearwaters in the sky. Let's see, can we see any other penguins? Oh, we've got one little penguin crossing the beach in front of our general admission stands. Two little penguins doing a little cross there. Oh, very sweet indeed. They seem to just be hovering in the middle of the beach there. Not sure which way they want to go. Now, it's not usual that two penguins will just stop straight in the middle of the beach. They usually go one way or the other. They don't usually just rest on the beach. So this is a bit bizarre. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Putting on a show for the people over there. Oh, it must be windy out there as well. I can see the cameras rocking around too. All right, let's try back at this area. Let's see if we've got any bigger rafts coming in. I'm going to need it to be a big raft to see through the mist on the screen. Ooh, where are we? I'm lost my bearings.
So I've got a couple of questions in relation to the shearwaters.
Oh, yes?
So Udi wants to know, how long do they stay on Phillip Island?
How long do they stay on Phillip Island? Great question. They arrive, or they used to arrive around September. Just recently, the last 2 years, they've come back in October, as far as I'm aware. And then they stay till, would we say March?
April 25th, give or take a few days.
And is that the adults or the chicks?
The adults.
The adults. Okay, so April for the adults, and then they leave their chicks, who then have to figure out for about 3 weeks, who then have to figure out how to take off and go by themselves. And so the adults will fly back to Alaska, leaving their chicks just to hopefully figure it out. And if the little chicks do figure it out, they will head back to Alaska by themselves. We don't really know how. Science doesn't really know exactly how they figure out how to get all the way back to Alaska. So it's pretty incredible. Oh, this camera is just shocking. I couldn't even tell you if there's penguins coming at all. So let's head to the rocks and see if we've got any penguins on the rocks. I wonder if they're just coming in super late tonight. I thought they were going to come in early tonight, and yet they seem to be sticking away today. I just needed to focus a little bit better. I guess there's nothing there to focus on. Oh, okay. But yeah, great question. Thanks for that. Any other questions, T, while we wait?
Another question about the shearwaters.
Mm-hmm.
Do they compete for the same food as
the
penguins?
Do they? I don't actually know. Do they, T?
They do eat pretty much the same
sort of, with seafood. They certainly are a seafood eating bird. So it seems like they might eat the same sort of things. Like penguins like to eat pilchards, anchovies, sea jellies, squid, things like that. So things like that is the same for shearwaters. There you go.
And they can dive as deep as penguins do. Really? Yes.
I didn't actually know that. That's fantastic. What we need is for one to come up and brush past the camera and wipe this mist away. Oh, is this penguins arriving? Is this just wishful thinking? I'm wondering if I can see white bellies. Everybody. Geez, it is a struggle tonight. Oh, that's something. All right, here we go. Come on, penguins. You can do it. Let's get another question while we try to see if these are penguins or not.
One question from Stephen. How far do the little penguins travel when they go fishing?
Oh, how far do the little penguins travel when they go fishing? In a day, they can do 50 kilometres, but that would be a really big day. Obviously, they're going to, well, not obviously, but they will go for the easiest food available. They're going to try and go for the fish that's nice and close. So if there's fish closer than 50 kilometres, they'll take those, please. But if there's no fish nearby, there's one little penguin coming in. If there's no fish nearby and they have to do 50 kilometres in a day, well, they'll do it. But at times like that, you'll usually see them do longer journeys and just stay out a couple of nights at sea. And they can stay out at sea for up to 28 days, pretty much a month they can stay out at sea. Where are they, T? Why aren't they coming? They're really just keeping us waiting tonight. I'm going to go back over here and hopefully we'll hear if some arrive on ours because it's just too hard to see. Where have we got? All right, let's have a look and see if we've got any penguins over here. Better viewing. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, great. Let's watch these guys. Oh, finally. Oh, so we've got two little streams of penguins here. So can you see the ones in the back and the ones in the front? So between the west stand and the stand that we're on, Penguins Plus, there's two little avenues by which the penguins cross, and we can see two of those little avenues just there with penguins crossing the beach. They've just gone out of our way. Oh, we've got some more crossing through the middle there as well.
There's a couple of big groups over on east as well.
Oh, okay, east is going to be very hard for us to spot. Let's see if we can see east as well. Oh, east is going to be very dark. Let's stick to these ones in the middle. So I wonder if we will see a lower number in the count tonight or if our penguins will just come in later. But certainly we are not seeing the big numbers that we are accustomed to, at least on our side. And it's not that the camera's foggy. We would have seen them on the rocks by now. We'd see them passing on the Penguin Highway by now as well. So it's a very quiet start to the count. And this is the thing, it's a natural event. It is a natural event. Oh, more arriving there. You never know what you're going to get. Some nights we get over 4,000. Some nights we get just a few hundred. And I think we've been really spoiled, haven't we? So when we started the stream, I think we were getting only a few hundred penguins. And then very soon after we started the stream, the breeding season really kicked off and we started seeing huge, huge numbers of penguins. And it seems like we are, perhaps at least tonight, certainly getting a bit less for the moment. And we've got 5 minutes left, so hopefully we'll get some penguins arriving in the next 5 minutes in front of us. But no, I would not be surprised if tomorrow when you tune in, you hear that tonight was a smaller night. Would not be surprised at all. We are not seeing the same sort of penguin numbers that we're used to. So it could be that the fish is further away and that they're spending an extra night out to try and get that fish. It could be that the penguin babies are getting a little bit older, so they don't need to come back quite as often. It could be that we're getting to the second clutch of eggs stage, perhaps. Or the penguins have grown up and gone back and they're just having a bit of a break in the ocean. Who knows? But yeah, definitely we have different amounts of penguins each night. You never know what you're going to get. Oh.
So one question, does the fog have any effect on the penguins?
Oh, does the fog have any effect on the penguins? Look, this one wouldn't. I don't think it's actually that foggy out there. I think that just because our camera has got a glass screen on it and the wind is and the mist, a light mist is coming this way, it's just coating our camera with a light mist on one side. But as we're seeing when we look out to the sides, no, it's actually pretty clear out there. So tonight the mist wouldn't be having an effect on the penguins, but it has previously. In fact, I believe the lowest number we ever counted here was it 8 penguins, T? And that is because there was a big sea fog that night. So it certainly can impact on the penguins, but I would say tonight what we're seeing on this bit of our camera in front of us is not really indicative of what it actually looks like out there. But yeah, no, I can't explain why we haven't seen any penguins on Penguins Plus yet. It's just a very strange night. Well, not many, not any, but certainly not many. Have we got one there? Yeah, a lone penguin. Hard to spot there, but yes, one lone penguin just here. Oh, we got some on the highway. Let's cross to them. Oh, and they're spooking again. What's going on? So it's the second time we've seen penguins on the Penguin Highway get to that point and then just scatter. Usually they would mostly follow on up the highway, but we've seen a lot of them just peel off to the side in what looks like terror. So it seems like there might be something that's a bit scary for them in that area. I wonder what's going on. What a strange night, everybody. I don't know what to make of it. We've got two little penguins cautiously making their way down this path. Looking around, moving carefully. What a bizarre night. I guess it's almost Halloween. Maybe the spooks are out. Yeah, it's still a penguin. Yep, one penguin. One solitary penguin on these rocks. What's going on? I don't think there's more there and we just can't see them. Well, there's a few. There's one or two. But there's certainly not, these are the preening rocks right here. Usually, oh, here comes one. Usually there'd be stacks of penguins, and I don't think it's the fog is the reason that we can't see them. I think they're literally just not many there, which is bizarre. We'll often have maybe 50 or so preening away on these rocks. And at the moment, I reckon I can see quite terribly 2. Oh, that looks like some whiteness, but is that just the... I don't understand, T. What does it mean? Where are the penguins? There might be some out there, but it is very hard to tell.
So one last question from David.
Oh, yep.
Do the people on the stands have any effect on the penguins' behaviour?
Oh, good question, David. Do the people on the stands have any effect on the penguins' behaviour? Not really. We've had people on these stands more or less every night for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. We haven't noticed any difference in penguin numbers while we were closed. We haven't seen any difference now that we're open. I guess if you had a really noisy kid standing on the stands going and running around and screaming, yeah, that might impact on the penguins. But generally our guests are pretty quiet, pretty polite. And the thing is, you don't even need to be that quiet necessarily. We ask people to sort of use indoor voices and try to stay reasonably calm. But, you can be having a nice time with your family, laughing and, carrying on even just a little bit. And the penguins usually won't notice it all. So I would be very surprised if the problem was that there was something going on at Penguins Plus with our people. I wonder if maybe there's a predator on those rocks and we can't see them because of the mist, but I wonder if there's maybe a Pacific gull sitting on those rocks. There was one earlier before the stream. Maybe there's a seal that they're nervous about, a leopard seal or some sort, out in the ocean in front of Penguins Plus that's stopping them across the beach. Who knows? And yeah, it makes it even more bizarre, I guess, for us because of this mist on the camera. We can't actually see what's going on to know exactly what the problem is, but seems like up until now at least something has stopped. Can't even see where I'm up to. Oh, we've got a few. Oh, we've got penguins. Fantastic. Something has been stopping these penguins wanting to cross the beach at Penguins Plus, but whatever it is, it has subdued because now I am seeing stacks of penguin white bellies crossing the rocks. It is very hard to see, but there is no mistaking that they have been holding off all night and they have arrived now when we have got 1 minute left of the stream. So look, we might extend the stream just a little bit longer to wait and see this big raft of penguins come past the highway cam. We're not going to see much of them here on the rocks because of the mist, but certainly once they get to the highway, we're going to get a bit of a better view. So... yeah, you can just sort of see the movement. You can see the white bellies moving in amongst the misty camera there. They've certainly arrived now. They were not there before. I was beginning to think I was going a little bit bonkers. and that maybe they were just hiding in the mist, but no, they've certainly arrived now. They weren't there before. Yep, you can see stacks of penguin bellies on the rocks over there. They're here. They've made it. And I wonder as well if they've all been waiting, these poor penguins, if they've all been waiting, if they all come in the same raft, making it very difficult for poor Ebony to count them. You know, this might have been in more normal times, this might have been 3 or 4 different rafts of penguins that have now just joined into one mega raft. All right, let's spend just a minute more watching these penguins on the Penguin Highway. Have we got one more question, T, before we head off?
No, everybody seems to be getting really excited now that we've got lots of penguins on the stream.
Oh, I can see somebody saying it will be hard to count, so what will they do in that case? Oh, they just got to count as best they can. Yeah, there's when big rafts come in, there's not much you can do except take a deep breath and hope for the best. Hope that you've got the skills to count them all. It's really tough. It is really tough on those nights when there's not much beach, when they all come in at the same time. You've just got to do your best. And we understand that it is an estimate. We understand that there are tough situations, and that it might not always be as accurate as you'd like it to be if you've got tough conditions. But, yep, Ebony is an absolute counting pro, so I'm sure she will have no problems. So, look, as we watch these little penguins waddle up the Penguin Highway, just a reminder, if you've got some cash, do donate to the Penguin Foundation. Become a Penguin Pal. Sign up your grandparents for National Grandparents' Day to the Penguin Pal membership. Get yourself a Adopt a Penguin. You can buy our football penguins on our website if you're a football fan. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Hopefully this mist will go away. Tune in tomorrow night. We've got new Rangers who will be presenting tomorrow night. It'll probably be Jordan or Megan would be my guest for tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in to find out if we did have a lower number because of this late start here on Penguins Plus. We might even be able to find out from Ebony if she knew why they arrived so late. We'll see if we can get that passed on to you tomorrow night as well, if anybody out there knows what the issue was. All right, interesting times. Never 2 nights the same. I like it. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you later. Say bye, T.
Bye.